Fpyq. Chapter 26. Lost. Nightfall. Under the yellow glow of the candlelight, Chi Yunruo read one of Li Chen's military books, a cloak draped over his shoulders. While he could technically read it, understanding the text was a different story. Li Chen was not present at their tent. The soldiers were busy with training today. Chi Yunruo wrapped the cloak tighter around his body, a slight chill settling upon him. Li Chen's tent could not be considered large, for he was only a commander of 100. However, because he was part of the leading general's personal guards, the treatment he received was better than most. Chi Yunruo wanted to wash himself in the river. Although the camp was situated near it, the weather was too frigid to actually bathe there. After a moment of consideration, he made for the river, a large basin in his hands. His body swayed as he carried it back to the tent. His next trek was to the kitchen area. After carrying a bucket of hot water back, he poured it into the large basin of cold water. The moment he removed his clothes, goosebumps sprang from his skin. He scrubbed himself with a wet towel. Put on his inner garment. He draped the cloak over himself again. After Li Chen finished training, he returned to the tent, to the surprise of Chi Yunruo. "I'll help you fetch some water," Chi Yunruo said. "It's fine. I'll get it myself. You shouldn't go outside when it's so cold." However, the guards staying in the nearby tents naturally would not allow Li Chen to fetch water himself. As Li Chen carried the basin of water Chi Yunruo had used earlier outside, two people rushed over to receive it. Li Chen didn't spend much time cleaning himself, nor did he pay much attention doing it. Shortly after, the two lay down on the bedding. "Is your honored self hungry?" asked Chi Yunruo. "I saw that your honored self did not eat much during dinner." Li Chen shook his head. The closer they got to the border, the heavier his heart felt. Such a feeling was akin to homesickness, yet there was also anger and resentment. He closed his eyes, exhaustion seeping into his bones. A soft sigh escaped Chi Yunruo's lips. He placed a hand on Li Chen's chest, where his heart lay beneath. "Your Highness, I can tell that your thoughts are bothering you. Although I can't help much, if you're willing, you can talk to me." Li Chen said, "Have you ever heard of Princess Chongping?" Chi Yunruo hesitated, then shook his head. "She is my eldest sister. We were raised together." "So the Empress Dowager raised both the princess and your honored self?" Chi Yunruo knew that Li Chen had grown up in the Palace of Merciful Peace. When eldest sister was 16 years old, she was given to a Yuè Hóu as a concubine. Li Chen's voice was calm, despite the words coming out of his mouth. Eldest sister had a very noble birth. She deserved the best man under the heavens. But for the sake of imperial father and the country, she accepted a political marriage far in the north. She has stayed at those barbarians' land for 7 years. The year she had left the great state of Kong, the country of Xinyuan caused trouble at the border. Like wolves, the Qiang people watched and waited for an opportunity. Imperial father had been desperate. His trusted generals were not skilled enough. A Yuè Hóu wanted cotton and silk, medicine, and women. Originally, imperial father had wanted to adopt a daughter of one of the high-ranking officials for the political marriage. But eldest sister said she was the royal princess of the great state of Kong. The civilians had supported and waited on her until now. Now that the country was in peril, she should naturally be the one sacrificing herself. She said if an official's daughter was married off instead, she could not enjoy and take for granted the luxuries granted to her. Chi Yunruo said, "The princess' valor was something not even some men can compare." When eldest sister was about to leave, she was dressed in red, her face free of sadness. "She told me to take care of grandmother, imperial father, and imperial mother. However, I told her there would come a day when I would bring her back." Chi Yunruo reached out, held Li Chen's hand. "I believe that your honored self will one day achieve this goal." Li Chen closed his eyes. Grandmother personally taught eldest sister. Her courage and breadth of spirit were not those of an average woman. It wasn't only me. If any of our siblings quarreled, as long as they called eldest sister over, she would act as a good mediator, the rest of them would obediently listen to her. Imperial Mother also placed a lot of trust in eldest sister. Qi Yunruo tightened his grasp, listening to Li Chen without a word. When eldest sister was 15, she had once been bestowed a marriage to Duke Weigu's heir, Chu Yuming. Now Chu Yuming, along with having a beautiful principal wife and many lovely concubines, enjoys a happy family. Whenever I see him, I can't help but feel heartbroken. He doesn't know that he let such a good woman slip through his fingers. Ever since eldest sister had been married off, grandmother's heart shattered. I vowed to grandmother that I would definitely bring her back. He sighed lightly. Qi Yunruo rose to his feet. Was it because of this that Her Majesty, the Empress Dowager, went into seclusion? Never had Qi Yunruo thought that Li Chen's face would pale at that moment. A pause, and then he said, "No. It was because of me. Grandmother sealed the Palace of Merciful Peace because of me." It poured the next day. The army had no choice but to set up shelter. Qi Yunruo sat by a low table in the tent, watching as the rain washed over the land in a daze. Li Chen was not too far away, speaking some matters with Zhao Weidu, most of which escaped his ears. Li Chen found a moment to look at him. "Don't come too close to the door. You'll get wet." A sound of agreement left Qi Yunruo's lips, and he moved a few steps back with the low table. Zhao Weidu was careless, bold, and unconstrained. However, he still had some attentiveness. He pointed to a map and explained to Li Chen the contents. Qi Yunruo could just make out a bit of their conversation, which dealt with the army rations. In the past, before the three armies moved forward, the army rations were delivered to the site first. This time, when Li Chen had still been in the capital, he represented the Ministry of Revenue in presenting the memorial that ordered the surrounding counties to muster army provisions. These provisions would be recorded in detail in the same memorial, and would be considered purchased by the court. The Northwest's Heluo County was one of the three most fertile regions, not to mention a huge livestock producer. Originally, the army would have arrived at Heluo County's troop supply station in 3 days. However, it had paused in its travel due to the heavy rain. And now it had to be more careful with the rations. Li Chen said, "This prince understands General Zhao's intention." Regarding Li Chen's arrival at the camp, Zhao Weidu was a bit concerned at first. He was the leading general, and in terms of identity, he was the courtier of Li Chen's family. He kept worrying that Li Chen would use his identity as Prince Chun and order him around. Although in court, Prince Chun had a sterling reputation, he had never commanded troops before. But unexpectedly, Prince Chun did not show the slightest intention of seizing the reins from him. Every day, he followed his command to bring the men out to train. When the higher-ranked and lower-ranked generals gathered, Li Chen did not appear. Because Prince Chun gave him so much face, Zhao Weidu must not fail to appreciate his kindness. Which led to him clearly explaining the important matters in the camp to Li Chen. Li Chen was an understanding person. He would pay back Zhao Weidu for his goodwill, and felt gratitude toward Zhao Weidu for not prying in his matters. The general understood that he only had to know what he needed to know. As Li Chen made to send Zhao Weidu off, Qi Yunruo rose to his feet and followed him. Before Zhao Weidu stepped through the tent's entrance, he shot Qi Yunruo a glance. Qi Yunruo returned his look openly. Then with a smile, Zhao Weidu left. The noon meal was field rations and broth. Qi Yunruo still had a few fresh hawthorns and dried dates he had purchased a few days ago near the city. Li Chen tossed a hawthorn into his mouth and suddenly said, "Consort Wei should have given birth by now." Qi Yunruo sat there, shocked. "I don't know if it's a boy or a girl," said Li Chen, muttering. Qi Yunruo swallowed a dried date. His voice was calm as he asked, "Does your honored self prefer sons or daughters?" "Now, the more sons the better." Qi Yunruo nodded. His mood sank in the blink of an eye. After the meal, Li Chen held Qi Yunruo close as they sat. From the outside, Li Chen could make out the sound of rain. His hands became a bit improper as Qi Yunruo rested his head on the crook of his shoulder, kneeling on the ground. Qi Yunruo closed his eyes. In the evening, Qi Yunruo tied up his hair and made for the river to wash his handkerchief. The water was clear, reflecting the red of his eyes. He half knelt, half squatted by the riverside. A while later, he fell into a full kneel, adjusting his weight until he found a more comfortable position. He soaked his handkerchief into the cold water, wringing it as dry as he could. Then he bent down to wash his face. Why his heart had settled into dejection so suddenly he did not know. After staying outside of the capital's walls for so long, he had almost forgotten the past. Had almost forgotten what had occurred in the prince estate. Previously, Li Chen's words had reminded him that Qi Nikan was that man's true wife. He also had many concubines, and Qi Yunruo was of the lowest rank. Perhaps Li Chen brought him here because his identity as a man was more convenient. He rose to his feet and stayed in the same spot for a while. When Qi Yunruo finally turned around, he was struck with shock. A tall, large man stared straight at him. His gaze made him feel uneasy. Qi Yunruo furrowed his brows and tried to pass right by him. But the man thrust out a hand and grabbed his own. He laughed. "Don't leave so urgently. Your master isn't a good thing. Previously, I also heard those sounds. It can really break someone's heart. Let go." Qi Yunruo's face burned as he attempted to pull back his hand. "So you still have some fight in you." The sky was growing dark in the evening. From not too far away, Qi Yunruo could make out the grey of rising smoke and many people running around for their duties. However, none of them were looking his way. He panicked, voice thick with anger as he yelled, "Scoundrel! Let go of me!" But the man only tightened his grip. "Ah, don't be mad. Tell me, what's your name? Who do you belong to? Just come with me. I'll buy you from your master." Qi Yunruo's breathing became rough and jagged. He summoned a lot of strength to yank his arm away. Yet the man still came closer. Left with no other option, Qi Yunruo kicked his shin and sprinted in the direction he had come from. Although the kick did not contain much force, it surprised the man. It surprised him more than it hurt him. And it didn't take long for him to come back to his senses. He frowned and chased after him. Qi Yunruo's feet were not steady as he ran, giving the impression he would be caught at any moment. But then he caught sight of someone familiar a distance away. Coincidentally, Qi Yunying was also washing himself in the river. For a hairbreadth of a moment, Qi Yunruo stopped in his tracks. Then he dashed to his brother's side, face pale as a ghost. In full pursuit was someone Qi Yunying was very familiar with. It was the Marquis Wooding's heir, Su Yuan. A cold laugh left Su Yuan's lips. "So it's second young master Qi. What? Does this person belong to you?" Qi Yunying hid Qi Yunruo behind him. "What do you want?" he said, ice cold. "Isn't what I want pretty obvious?" He turned to Qi Yunruo. "You thief, actually dare to raise a hand at me." Then he turned back to Qi Yunying. "If you give this person to me, I won't chase this matter with him." "And what if I don't?" Disdain dripping from his tone, Su Yuan said, "Even your elder brother doesn't have the ability to bear his fangs at me. You're just brimming with good prospects now, aren't you, second young master Qi?" At present, the brothers of the Qi family did not yet hold official ranks. Yet Su Yuan already had, with his own ability, he had taken the position of Jinwei Fuwei, with several hundred people under his command. If he also received military merit this time, it wouldn't be strange for him to become a general. Qi Yunying pushed Qi Yunruo away, the latter glancing at the back of the former before running off. Su Yuan's expression darkened. "Second young master Qi, you really want to cross me?" Qi Yunying laughed, cold enough to freeze, and unsheathed his blade. Enough talking. You're courting death. Qi Yunruo dashed into Li Chen's tent. Even his breathing was erratic as his body shook. Mind in a chaotic state, he took 2 steps forward, before falling to the ground on his behind. Li Chen was struck with terror. He ran to his side and crouched down, supporting Qi Yunruo to his feet. Anxiously, he asked, "What's wrong? What happened?" Qi Yunruo could not find his voice and could only point to the outside. Li Chen yelled, "Chu Qing! Here!" Chu Qing appeared from the tent next door. Then he stood in front of their tent. At the same time, many of the guards from Prince Chun's estate also left their tents to check outside. Li Chen carried Qi Yunruo to the bed. He stroked his cheek in a reassuring manner, before leaving. In an icy voice, he said, "Go check the riverside. This subordinate will comply." Li Chen returned to the tent. There he found Qi Yunruo in a less frantic state. His voice trembled as he said, "Qi Yunying." Qi Yunying and someone with a surname of Su. Called Su Yuan. Li Chen grunted in acknowledgement and reached out to cover his eyes. "Don't worry about it. On the other hand, Li Chen could not calm down. He accompanied Qi Yunruo until he was no longer as nervous. Then he made his way outside again. Qi Yunying's body was marred with bruises and scratches. His expression remained neutral. Ashamed, Chu Qing said, once us subordinates arrived at the scene, second young master Qi and Su Yuan had already ended their fight. Su Yuan had many subordinates with him. We did not dare to cause trouble and watched as they left. Li Chen's voice was low. Your actions were appropriate. Then he went back to Qi Yunruo's side. What happened previously? Qi Yunying stayed silent. He found it difficult to say. Su Yuan did not recognize this subordinate, said Chu Qing. From start to finish, he spoke wild words, words that were not fit for the ears about young master Xiao Qi. Su Yuan, a cold light flashed in Li Chen's eyes. Li Chen had Chu Qing apply medicinal ointment to Qi Yunying. He called for someone to fetch water. Qi Yunruo's body was almost soaked in cold sweat, and with the wind so strong today, he might catch a cold. However, once Li Chen had retrieved the water from one of his men, Qi Yunruo sat up from bed. His head was lowered, his voice near whisper as he said, "Did I bring your honored self trouble?" Li Chen took his seat next to him. "Why are you saying this? You haven't brought me trouble. I'm sorry. It's my fault. I shouldn't have let you go alone so far away." Previously at the camp, little Qi would either be close to his side or in the immediate area. This time, the place they had set camp was far from the river. He had made a mistake. He had thought little Qi would be fine. But there were many types of people in the army. Little Qi's identity was ambiguous in the first place. He would face many difficulties if he stepped foot outside. "I feel so useless." Li Chen hugged him close and lovingly. "Little Qi should not think like this. Believe in me. As long as I am useful, it will be fine." End chapter. Fpyq Jiang. Chapter 27. Internal Strife. The first thing Li Chen did when he awoke early the next morning was to check Qi Yunruo's temperature. After finding that it was stable, he let escape a breath of relief. Shortly after, Qi Yunruo roused as well. He was not yet steady but he moved to fetch Li Chen a basin of water. Li Chen rushed to grab his hand. "I'll do it myself." Qi Yunruo's mind grew clearer. He lowered his head, his expression gloomy. "What's wrong?" asked Li Chen, pulling him close. "I really feel like I am useless. I can't do anything right and I always make others worried." Qi Yunruo was not a weak girl in need of protection. He was a man but the things men were supposed to do, he could not do well. He couldn't even go outside to wash himself without bringing others trouble. Li Chen reached out and stroked his soft hair. With gentle voice he said, "It's because little Qi is too good, so understanding and well-behaved, and also beautiful. That's why many people want and like you. You should just wait in the tent today. Let me handle the situation first. Then we can go out together." Qi Yunruo said, "I want to visit Qi Yunying." "All right. Wait for me to fetch the water." Qi Yunying's torso was bare. His arms and chest were wrapped generously with bandages, blood soaking through in patches around his forearms. Frowning, Qi Yunruo approached his brother's side. None of them spoke a word. Not long after, Li Yu returned from picking up Qi Yunying's breakfast. His body was damp from the rain, and he did not realize there was someone else in the tent. He shook off the rain on his body, then with voice full of complaint he said, "Why is it raining again? Today's breakfast is mixed flour biscuit. Are you going to eat it? There was also meat congee, but I couldn't bring it back." The moment he saw Qi Yunruo, his jaw dropped. "I'll eat," said Qi Yunying, faint and low. Li Yu retrieved 2 yellow dry biscuits from the package he held. Qi Yunying received it without a word. He opened his mouth wide and bit down. Li Yu sent a curious glance at Qi Yunruo's way. "What were you siblings talking about?" But Qi Yunruo had already risen to his feet. He picked up the umbrella by the tent's entrance and left through the door. Li Yu could tell that Qi Yunying was not in the mood to talk. He made his way back to his own bedding and lay down. "I think it will rain the whole day. The road is muddy. I don't know how long it'll take for us to reach Heluo County." A while later, Qi Yunruo returned to Qi Yunying's tent with a meal box in his hands. He placed it on the ground in silence. He lifted the lid, then he took out a bowl of meat congee and half a roasted chicken on a plate. Li Yu was speechless. The chicken was left over from last night's dinner. A moment of silence, then Qi Yunying said, "Thank you." As he presented the bowl of meat congee to his brother, Qi Yunruo had kept his head lowered. Then he placed the plate with the roast chicken in front of him. There was even a clean pair of chopsticks. "I'll bring you your lunch at noon." Afterward, Qi Yunruo picked up the meal box and made to leave with his umbrella. Once he had left, Li Yu noticed something wrapped in paper next to the chicken. He unraveled the wrapping and saw that inside was more than 10 dried dates. He placed one in his mouth, a thoughtful expression forming on his face. The moment he reached for a second date, Qi Yunying slapped Li Yu's hand away with his uninjured one. Li Chen held an umbrella standing among a crowd. With an impassive face, he stared at the soldiers not too far away training in the rain. The leader of one of the teams seemed injured. As he ran, his body appeared to sway. Another soldier wiped his face and sneakily kicked him. Marquis Wuding's eldest legitimate daughter was betrothed to Prince Yang. Su Yuan would become the brother-in-law of the 4th imperial prince, Li Su. Su Yuan, this person, originally had some ability. These past few years, the emperor had elevated the Su family. Although Su Yuan's official rank was only of the 6th rank, his future was limitless. Unfortunately, Li Chen's gaze was somewhat somber. The Su family, Zhou family, Yuan family, and Lan family. Grandmother. Li Chen's expression changed as quick as it came. He sighed deeply. "Grandmother, if you were in my place, what would you do?" 1,000 miles away, Empress Dowager Lan, who had been kneeling in prayer, opened her eyes. The woman who used to have the whole dynasty in the palm of her hand slowly rose to her feet. At that moment, the typically calm gaze revealed a frightening light. Many people forgot that the previous emperor had become decrepit and muddle-headed with his governance in his later years. The first few years after the present emperor had ascended the throne, Empress Dowager Lan had exerted herself to recover the failing Li dynasty by a sizable amount. It was this woman who took over the burden left behind by her deceased husband. She helped her son open up the path to peace and prosperity in the Li dynasty. When Empress Dowager Lan was in power, the border dared not cause a disturbance. The courtiers dared not be corrupt. The civilians happily lived out their days. However, Zhou Rushan ran to the imperial tomb and cried that the Li dynasty had been usurped by others. Yuan Liqi brought a throng of scholars to kneel outside the imperial palace, begging the Empress Dowager to return the governing power to the emperor. Those people were akin to clowns, jumping up and down in a foolish and exaggerated manner. Grandmother was disappointed. Disappointed that the son she had brought up alone would actually believe outsiders over her. Not once had he mentioned to her about taking over the reins of government after reaching of age. Sitting by a low table, Qi Yunruo noticed the somber nature of Li Chen's mood. Li Chen closed the door flap of the tent, the interior falling under a blanket of darkness in an instant. "Little Qi, come to my side." "All right." Qi Yunruo set down the book from his hands and sat by Li Chen. Li Chen stroked his silky hair, running his fingers through the dark locks. A light sigh escaped his lips. "Little Qi, right now I cannot do anything to Su Yuan." That surprised Qi Yunruo. Then he flashed a slight smile. "Your Highness, I've been fine since a while ago." Li Chen rested his chin on the crook of Qi Yunruo's shoulder. His expression was soft. "Even if there are many methods to solve this problem, I cannot deal with Su Yuan while in the military. Imperial Father clearly wants to lift Su Yuan, nurture him into a high-ranking general capable of leading an army. If something happened to Su Yuan under my watch, Imperial Father would feel threatened by me and would continue to boost the Sui family or Yuan family. The Zhou family is also not out of the question. The family of Prince Qing's father-in-law, the Marquis of Baiking, had already released its military power in the previous generation. His own father-in-law, Count Xiang, released his military power in his generation. Princess Consort Jing was from a renowned family from Jiangnan, which originally did not possess any military power. Why was Imperial Father only promoting the in-laws of fourth brother? I don't think I currently have the ability to show Imperial Father my dissatisfaction. I also cannot let Imperial Father misunderstand, and think I am trying to take out my dissenters. However, once we return to the capital. Your Highness mustn't be like this, said Qi Yunruo. I am unable to help you in your troubles, and in fact have brought more trouble for you. I feel very uneasy. Your honored self should not worry about me. Li Chen did not respond, opting to pat his back. 3 days later, the army arrived at Heluo County. A middle-aged man from the Chu family, considered an uncle to Chu Qing generation-wise, had long since waited to receive them. While Li Chen and Zhao Weidu's deputy general, Shang Guanling, went to negotiate with Heluo County's magistrate, Chu Qing found some spare time to speak with this middle-aged man. It's a big problem. Back then, Sita and Situ Su did not yield an inch to one another, said the Chu family member. The emperor had conferred Situ Su as the leading general of the northwest border. Sita was a general who had secured the border for many years. Originally, Sita had thought His Majesty was sending him troops and that he would gain military power. However, His Majesty no longer trusted him. The man clicked his tongue. Zhao Weidu is going to have a hard time. Chu Qing nodded. Does Heluo County have enough military rations? The Chu family member hesitated. This year, Heluo County gathered a large amount of military rations for the operation at the border. His Highness, Prince Chun, is already aware of this matter. In the previous years, Heluo County's leftover military rations should be enough for an additional gather. However, after being here for half a month, I have seen the Heluo County magistrate acting strange. He didn't seem to have prepared the rations. This time, the army needs at least 100 million liters of grain, said Chu Qing. Heluo County is vast, its land fertile. Even if they cannot gather this amount right now, the nearby counties should be able to. The Chu family member said, but what if these counties refuse to hand over the grain? To delay in handing over military rations is a severe crime. A sigh escaped from the Chu family member's lips. Suzhou's Heluo County is a place everyone wants to get their hands on. In the span of 10 years, it has had 5 county magistrates. Not one of them had served their full term. Our Chu family did not compete for that position. Your father went directly to Jiangnan to become an official. However, from the capital to Suzhou, there are many who want the benefits of Heluo County to themselves. Chu Qing's countenance grew stern. I will inform His Highness of your words. The Chu family member patted his shoulder and nodded. Zhao Wei strived for time. For this reason, he did not follow Li Chen to participate in the negotiations with Heluo County. In fact, he only needed Shang Guanling to mention the situation at the border and they would obtain their military rations. He did not want to socialize with the Heluo County officials over a meal, and have them try to flatter him. However, Heluo County's magistrate summoned the group to his office. He forced them to stay for the county's most famous mutton. Once the generals had a taste, they found it delicious, and forcibly added it to the military rations list. Shang Guanling said, "Our leading general has passed down a strict order, if I cannot bring back the military rations by tomorrow, he will strike me down. Sir, please do not make it hard on me." Laughter spilled from the lips of Heluo County's magistrate. Definitely not, definitely not. This humble official has already prepared everything 3 days ago. Once General Shang Guan has inspected the rations tomorrow, you can take them with you. As they ate, Heluo County's magistrate continued to blabber on. That Heluo County was going through trying times. That the military rations meant for the northwest border had been supplied year after year, and even the civilians' taxed grain had been used to supplement this. Every year, the court had commended them, yet Heluo County still had to supply military rations the coming year. Each year Heluo County's circumstances grew poorer and poorer. Li Chen did not speak a word, his face impassive. He held his wine cup. He stared at the obese county magistrate, who kept up his act of suffering. As expected, after 3 rounds of drinks, Heluo County's magistrate said, "However, since it is the court's order, this humble official will somehow muster some military rations. This year, this humble official has even collected the grains meant for the next planting season. Just one word from General Zhao, and this humble official will have someone send them." Li Chen's heart suddenly froze over. Shang Guanling slammed his wine cup on the table. Voice cold enough to freeze, he said, "Sir He, what are you trying to say?" County magistrate he laughed. To delay in handing over military rations is a severe crime. This humble official has no other choice. 100 million liters of grain. He clicked his tongue. Other than this method, this humble official does not know how to complete the demand. Li Chen said, "Without the grain meant to sow the fields, how can the civilians farm in the future?" County magistrate He's gaze fell upon Li Chen. "This general is..." A frigid laugh from Shang Guanling. "This general also wants to know how the civilians will farm in the future without the grain meant for growing. If the civilian families do not have leftover grain for themselves, what would they eat?" Heluo County's wheat had already been harvested this season. After the autumn, they would plant more of the crop, which was meant for the civilians and army rations. County magistrate he took his time saying, "Who told the court to rush us? This humble official has already spoken to the civilians when we gathered the grain. That General Zhao's men needed to eat. We normal folk are not important. General Zhao's men, on the other hand, are a different story." These words Shang Guanling and Li Chen definitely did not believe. They knew the situation at Heluo County. Heluo County was known as Little Suhang, an area situated in the northwest that had a wealth of fish and grain. Everywhere else could have a shortage of grain, but not Heluo County. Yet this county magistrate refused to hand over any, and even wanted to pour dirty water over their heads. This was the epitome of sickening. General Shang Guan sneaked a peek at Li Chen. Li Chen said, "Although sir he has said this, General Zhao has only had a bite of wind and sand on his way here. It was not for the sake of sacrificing the civilians that we have made this journey. General Zhao serves the country and the people, and is rushing to the border. If he discovers that we fooled him and took away the civilians' livelihood, we can only restrain ourselves and return to the capital, awaiting the executioner's blade. County magistrate, he narrowed his eyes, daring to ask this general's name. The country's surname, Li Chen lightly said. So it was General Li. Please excuse this humble official for the lack of manners. As Li Chen and Shang Guanling rose to their feet and left the banquet, county magistrate, he frowned. Then he laughed, cold and sharp. Your Highness, what should we do? Asked Shang Guanling as soon as they were outside the hall. Are we really going to take the grains meant for the next planting season? Luo County definitely should still have some military rations. If they do not present them and insist that those are grains meant for the next farming season, that those were collected from the civilians, we don't have a choice either. There are many places that are competing to become the second Luo County. Your Highness means. Li Chen pushed open the door to his bedroom. And he saw that inside wasn't just Qi Yunruo. There was another beautiful young man standing within. Once the young man caught sight of Li Chen, his eyes shone. Qi Yunruo's expression was not good. He had been waiting for Li Chen in the bedroom, and the person who brought over the meal would not leave. The young man glanced at Qi Yunruo from the side. Qi Yunruo returned his stare, perplexed. He noticed the young man's enmity, and then realization struck him. Luo County had not only prepared delicious mutton for them. It had also prepared good-looking people. That Li Chen brought Qi Yunruo into the city had not gone unnoticed by the sharp-eyed Luo County magistrate. The beauty who was originally to be sent here was changed according to Li Chen's preferences. The Luo County magistrate had prepared a soft and hard method to deal with Li Chen and Shang Guanling, interested in seeing which method they would fall for. In an ardent manner, the beautiful youth said, "General, Sir County Magistrate told me to attend to you." Li Chen's face darkened. All of a sudden, Shang Guanling bolted through the door to the room next door. Sure enough, there was a naked beauty in his room as well, flirtatiously gesturing for him to approach. From the looks of it, she had been waiting for a long time. Qi Yunruo served the 2 tea, before moving to stand at the side. General Shang Guang wiped away the cold sweat clinging to his face. Previously, what did your Highness mean? Li Chen unfurled a map of Suzhou, placing it flat on the table. Luo County was smack in the middle. All around were mountainous regions. Look, Luo County is right here. This is Qing Luo County. This is Mi Luo County. Although the grain production of these 2 counties is not as high as that of Luo County, together it is greater. Unfortunately, Luo County is very famous throughout the country. In the eyes of regular people, these 2 counties are remote and impoverished areas in comparison. During this prince's time in the Ministry of Revenue, I saw that year after year, the evaluations of these 2 counties were superior. However, the court did not attach much importance to them. The magistrates of those counties had served many terms, yet the Ministry of Revenue did not summon them to personally give reports. Tell me, do you think they will be interested in this opportunity to become the second largest county in the northwest? General Shang Guang clapped. Then we must hurry. Let us leave the city now and inform General Zhao. The corners of Li Chen's lips tilted upward. Are we just going to let our time spent coming here be wasted? Since Luo County does not have 100 million liters of grain, what about 80 million? 50 million? Even if it's 10 million liters of grain, he still needs to hand it over. End chapter.